So the other type of word problems that we do that involve rational equations are average cost problems. So for this video, I'm going to do the warm-up and the first two questions. I'll have a separate video that has the other two questions, and then the key will have all of the review problems done on it, and you can request any videos that you want or need extra on that. Just let me know. So I'm going to jump right into the warm-up, which is going to be like the work problems that we had been doing. So problem number one here, the warm-up, we've got Marcos, who can write 5 announcements in 9 minutes. So 5 jobs in 9 minutes of time. Plus DeAndre can write 4 announcements in 7 minutes. How long would it take them together to write 20 announcements? So we know the total jobs here is 20. What I don't know is how much time it's going to take them each. So I'm going to go ahead and give them each X minutes of time to work together to complete these 20 jobs. So whatever Marcos does plus whatever DeAndre does, we're going to add those together to get the total of 20. So I'm going to go ahead and figure out my LCD here. So I have denominators of 9 and 7, which means I want to use an LCD of 63. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply everything through by 63. So 9 goes into 63 7 times. So I'm going to have 7 times 5x. 7 goes into 63 9 times. So I have 9 times 4x. And then I have no idea what 63 times 20 is, but that is what it's going to be for the other half of the equation. So I have a calculator sitting here next to me just to make sure I don't do anything goofy. So let's see, 7 times 5x is going to be 35x. 9 times 4x is going to be 36x. 63 times 20, not going to happen in my head. So how about 1,260? I always run out of room with these problems, so I'll slide it over here. Let's see, 35x plus 36x is going to be 71x, and that's going to equal 1,200, and I'm trying to write a 60 there. There we go. I'm going to divide both sides by 71. So let's see what happens when I do that division. Round it off to 2 decimal places, please, and thank you. Let's see, 17.75, our units here is minutes. So if Marcos and DeAndre work together, all right, remember this, working together, to write 20 announcements, it would take them almost 18 minutes, so 17.75 minutes. All right, so those are the work problems. Now what we're going to get into is some average cost problems. So read it, annotate it. We're going to set up some equations, solve some different problems here. All right, so problem number 1, let's see, so I think I can get it all fit in there. Okay, I can. It's Your Party will cater a banquet for $32 per person. So for every person at your banquet, you're going to pay $32 with a $100 fixed charge. So what does a fixed charge mean? A fixed charge means you're going to pay that $100 whether you have 1 person at your banquet or you have 300 people at your banquet. It's a $100 fixed charge. So whatever the catering company has, that's what they're going to charge you for. Okay, so part A, determine the total cost. So let's go total cost here if 35 people attend. Okay, so it's $32 per person, and there are 35 people, so we're going to multiply those together. But we need to make sure that we also add in that $100 fixed charge. So I've got my calculator sitting next to me. So let's see, 32 times 35 plus 100. So my total cost here is going to be $1,220. That's total cost. Now, the second part of this problem says, what is the average cost per person? So for average cost, I'm going to take the total cost and divide by the number of people. Okay, so take that total, the 1,220, divide it by 35 people. You're probably not going to get a very nice answer all the time, so just round it off to dollars and cents. So $34.86 is the average cost per person. All right, so that's part A. Let's take a look at part B. Write an equation to represent the cost in dollars if X people attend the banquet. So I don't know how many people are going to attend the banquet. I'm just going to call it X. But I do know that for every one of the people who attends, I need to multiply by 32, and I'm going to add that fixed cost of 100. So I'm going to call this C of X for cost for X amount of people. So it's going to be 32 per person, so 32 times X, plus the $100 fixed charge. So there's my equation. Part C, write an equation to represent the average cost per person. So I'm terribly creative here in calling it A of X for average cost. I'm going to take the cost equation, so 32X plus 100, and I'm going to divide by X people. All right, there's my equation to represent the average cost per person. Let's see, part D here. After the banquet was over, it was determined that the average price per person was $33. How many people attended the banquet? So if I tell you that this is the average price per person, I'm going to use the average cost equation. So instead of A of X, I actually know that the average cost is $33. Whoops, let's actually use a pen here. So 33 is equal to 32X plus 100 over X. Now this is an equation I want to solve. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in on my equation. Domain restrictions, X cannot equal 0. It really doesn't make any sense to talk about a banquet where 0 people go and you're worried about the cost. If nobody's going, then you didn't have a banquet. All right, so don't worry about it. What we are going to do, though, is multiply both sides here by the LCD of X. So let's see, we're going to have 33X is equal to, now on the right side here, the X in the denominator and the X that's the LCD completely divide each other out. So they're completely gone. And so I'm left with 32X plus 100. No more denominators anymore. Just solve the equation. So minus 32X. So 33X minus 32X is just X. 1X if you really want to write it in there. So X is equal to 100. So how many people attended the banquet? 100 people. All right, so that's going to be these average cost equations. We're going to have to write the equation and then use one of the equations that we write to find some information. So that's problem number 1. I'm going to go ahead and slide on down to number 2 here. All right, so this is TalkTel. Make sure I can fit this all in here. All right, TalkTel is a cellular service provider. They advertise that you can buy a monthly plan for as low as $70 per month, as long as you buy a cell phone costing $200. All right, so you're going to pay that $200 for the phone, and then you have the monthly plan for $70 per month. Okay, so part A, total cost. Let's see, if you buy a cell phone, so that's $200 for the cell phone, plus you're going to be on the plan for 12 months. So $70 per month, so times 12. So 200 plus 70 times 12 is going to be a total cost of $1,040. Now, it also asks, what is the average cost per month? So I'm going to take that $10,040 and divide by how many months I was on the plan. In this case, I was on the plan for 12 months. So 1,040 divided by 12 is equal to $86.67. Make sure you round, please and thank you. So that's part A. Part B, write an equation to represent the cost in dollars for X months on the plan. So again, I'm terribly creative. C of X for cost for X months. Per month, you've got to pay $70, so 70X, plus the cost of the phone. Now, if you wrote down C of X or whatever your equation is, you could use Y. All right. So something is equal to 200, that's the cost of the phone, plus $70 per month. You've written the exact same equation. Remember, the order that you add doesn't matter. So if these two pieces of the expression are reversed, you have the same answer. Okay. So no worries, whichever way you write it. Let's see, part C, write an equation to represent the average cost. So I'm going to go A of X is equal to, so I'm going to take one of these two expressions, it won't matter which one. I'll do the first one I wrote, 70X plus 200 divided by the number of months on the plan, which is X. All right, keep that equation simple. Because now what we're going to do with it is solve it. All right. So part D, if the average price per month is $80, so this is average price. So we're going to use the equation we wrote in part C. So let's see what we got here. So 80 is equal to 70X plus 200 over X. I already know domain restriction, X cannot equal 0. It doesn't make any sense to have a plan for 0 months. Basically, that means you didn't buy a cell phone plan. All right. All right. Not too much space down here to show my work. So let's see what I can do. I'm going to use my LCD of X. So 80X is equal to those, the LCD and the denominator completely cancel. So they're gone. So that leaves me 70X plus 200. I'm going to subtract 70X from both sides. Of course, I have run out of room. I write too big for these pages, and I make the pages. What's wrong with me? 80X minus 70X is going to be 10X equal to 200. I'm going to divide both sides by 10. And of course, I feel like I'm going to run out of room again. Let's see. 200 divided by 10 is 20. So if you had an average price per month of $80, that means that you had the plan for 20 months. Okay. All right, so that is problem number 2. I'm going to go ahead and cut the video here. I will make a separate video for problem 3 and problem 4. If you have